Ever felt like the rules at work are kind of stacked against you? Well, today, we're going to talk about a powerful toolkit designed to make sure everyone in Taiwan gets a fair shake. We're breaking down the Gender Equality in Employment Act, and trust me, it's a game changer. Let's dive in. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been in an interview and gotten those weirdly personal questions? About marriage, or if you plan on having kids. Or maybe you've glanced at a colleague's work and thought, hang on, we do the exact same job. Why is there a pay gap? If any of that sounds familiar, you should know it's not just a bad feeling. It's often flat out illegal. And the law that has your back is the Gender Equality in Employment Act. Think of it as your personal advocate in the workplace. So here's our game plan. First up, we'll look at what this law is all about and who it protects. It's probably more people than you think. Then we'll see how it guarantees fairness right from your very first job interview. We'll also tackle the super important topic of harassment and what your boss is legally required to do about it. After that, we'll explore all the ways the law helps you balance work and family life. And finally, the most empowering part, what to do and how to get help when your rights are violated.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What exactly is this law? And I'm not talking about some dusty old legal textbook here. Think of this as your personal, active shield in the workplace. When you boil it all down, this law has one crystal clear mission: to make sure everyone has equal rights on the job. And it's not just about saying everyone's equal on paper. The real goal is to build a workplace culture where fairness is the default, the normal way of doing things, by actively getting rid of discrimination. So who does this shield actually cover? You might be surprised. The short answer is pretty much everyone. It doesn't matter if you're full-time, part-time, an intern just starting out, or even just applying for a job. Yep, it protects you then too. It even covers civil servants, teachers, and military personnel. The main thing to remember is this: if you're doing work for someone, this law is there for you. And here's the thing, this protection doesn't just kick in once you've got the job. The law demands fairness from the very, very beginning, the moment you send in that application, and it stays with you through every single step of your career.
This chart breaks it down perfectly. Check this out. It is illegal for a company to make decisions about hiring, promotions, or pay based on your gender or sexual orientation. Those decisions have to be based on things that actually matter, like your skills, your performance, your experience. Different pay for the same value of work? Illegal. And firing someone just because they're getting married or pregnant? Absolutely 100% forbidden. These rules are the foundation of what a fair workplace looks like.
Let's zoom in on that equal pay thing, because it's a big one. What does equal pay for work of equal value really mean? Well, it means the law doesn't care about job titles. It looks at the work itself. If your job takes similar skill, similar effort, and similar responsibility as your colleague's job, your pay has to be the same. It's all about the value you're creating, not your gender.
Okay, now for protection that is a huge deal under Article 11. It used to be a thing where some contracts would force employees, and let's be real, it was almost always women, to quit if they got married or pregnant. The law's response to this is simple. That's illegal. Any clause like that in a contract is completely null and void. It's like it was never even written. Your boss cannot fire you for these life events. Full stop.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about a really serious topic: harassment. This law isn't just about getting fair pay or a promotion. It's about your basic fundamental right to feel safe and respected when you go to work.
So, Article 12 breaks down sexual harassment into two main types. The first is quid pro quo, which is just a fancy Latin way of saying this for that. This is when a boss or supervisor uses their power to demand sexual favors in exchange for a promotion, a raise, or even just keeping your job. The second is a hostile work environment. This is broader. It covers any unwelcome sexual behavior, like gross jokes, inappropriate comments, or unwanted touching that makes the workplace feel intimidating, abusive, or just plain awful. And let's be clear, both are illegal.
Now, the law is very, very clear that this isn't just the victim's problem to solve. Your employer has a legal duty to step up. They can't just look the other way. This means they must have clear policies in place. They must take immediate action when a complaint is made, and they must investigate it fairly. Their job is to protect the victim and discipline the harasser. Knowing this is key to holding them accountable.
And if you're wondering whether this law actually has any teeth, well, let's talk about the consequences. An employer who breaks these core rules can be fined up to 1.5 million new Taiwan dollars. This is not a small slap on the wrist. It's a serious financial penalty designed to make companies take their responsibility seriously. It turns these rights from suggestions into hard and fast rules.
All right, let's shift to something that affects pretty much everyone: balancing our jobs with our family lives. because a truly equal workplace gets that we all have lives outside the office. Let's see what the law does to help with that.
This table is a fantastic quick guide to the kind of support you can get. You've got 8 weeks of maternity leave. But check it out, there are also 7 days of fully paid leave for partners to be there for prenatal checkups and the birth. And for longer-term care, either parent can take up to 2 whole years of parental leave per child. Add in things like family care leave for emergencies and menstrual leave, and you've got a really solid support system.
But here's the absolute best part, the real game changer. Your boss can't just say no. According to Article 21, they are legally required to give you this time off. And, just as important, they can't punish you for taking it. They can't mess with your bonus, give you a bad performance review, or anything like that. Your right to take this time is protected, period.
Okay, so you know your rights. But what do you actually do when someone ignores them? This last section is all about taking action. It's how you can stand up for yourself and get the help you are entitled to.
The law lays out a really clear path for you. Sure, the first step can be to complain inside your company. But what if your boss is the problem? Or what if the company just does nothing? You have the right to go straight to your local labor authority. They have the power to investigate and force your employer to fix the situation. And you don't have to go through it alone. The government is required to give you legal support and advice.
Okay, I want you to really let this sink in, because this quote from Article 36 is your armor. This is the anti-retaliation clause, and honestly, it's everything. It makes it illegal for your employer to punish you in any way for filing a complaint or even for helping someone else file one. You can't be fired, demoted, or have your life made miserable at work for speaking up. This is what gives you the freedom to act without being afraid for your job.
So, as we wrap this up, just remember, the Gender Equality in Employment Act isn't just some boring legal document. It's a practical, everyday tool. It's your shield that protects you from unfair treatment. It's the rulebook your employer must follow, and it's the lever you can pull to help build a better, more respectful workplace for you and for everyone else.
Look, knowing your rights is the first and most powerful step you can take. This law gives us the blueprint, but it's really up to all of us to use it. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Now that you have this powerful tool in your hands, how can we all use it to build the kind of fair and safe workplaces that every single one of us deserves? Thanks so much for watching.